a short video for you tonight just to brainstorm on some things that are happening. So currently the Senate is having people tear into each other in Parliament. Of course, Chergey as normal and Sifuna, they have to actually tell each other to sit down so that the elders speak. And of course, on the other side, there is our drama ongoing as Parliament sees Karoli saying that they want to rig elections. Guys, in Kenya, somebody said, and I think it's pastor, this funny Tanzanian pastor who said that in Kenya, even elections itself, even before it happens, people fear that it will be rigged, okay? And it is what it is. Of course, Wavinya Ndeti also once said something funny about it. And even when you look at opposition, they are still talking about it, as we see Matiang'i insisting that nothing will happen of that sort. And we saw even Natembea saying the same to assure the citizens that they should not fear to vote for opposition because no rigging will happen. Guys, so what is what? So let's go for it and see what happened in Parliament, because Kibagendi and Omondi are actually losing key committee posts because of being part of the rebel group, the Linda Mwananchi, opposed to Linda Ground. So let's get after it and see what is happening here.
Best political arrangement drew the first blood. In the changes, Suba South MP Karoli Omondi was recently declared the Secretary General of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition, was kicked out of his Plum Constitution Implementation and Oversight Committee, where he served as chairperson.
They don't want me to chair CIOC because I'm going to oversight general elections. They want to rig the elections. That's why they don't want me in CIOC. And that is the reason. That is the reason. Because I'm chairing CIOC.
The House leaders sending a statement that dissidents will not be spared.
We have given you a warning. I'm serving a warning. Mr. Speaker, as the leader of minority on my side, anyone who will not adhere to the party line, Mr. Speaker, you will end up relinquishing your committee seat to a lesser one, Mr. Speaker, so that you get to know that it is the party that rewards people to sit in committees.
Honorable Karoli Omondi, last week, Honorable Speaker, and I did state it here on Thursday, went on national TV to threaten this house that we want to remove him from a committee. I don't know for what position. I am not involved in ODM affairs myself, Honorable Speaker.
Others who were affected in the House fumigation exercise include Kitutu Chache South MP Anthony Kibagendi, who was removed from the powerful Public Investments Committee on Governance and Education and replaced by a greenhorn, Kasipul MP Boyd Were. The leaders saying that was just the beginning.
When you come here, it is your party that decides which committee you'll serve in. It's like the appointment of cabinet in the executive. So those people who are masquerading here thinking that they have an entitlement to any committee, we will deal with you thoroughly.
Several allies of the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua were also affected in the changes, with Naivasha legislator Jane Kihara also moved to the Committee on Member Services and Facilities. However, it was a happy day for the MPs who came back to UDA as they were reinstated to lucrative committees from those considered punishment dockets. They include Gedongori MP Gathoni wa Mushomba, was moved back to the Constitution Implementation Committee CIOC from the Committee on Member Services and Facilities. Marakwet MP Timothy Kipchumba was also elevated to the Justice Legal Affairs Committee from the Member Service and Facilities Committee. Juja MP George Koimburi, who recently ditched the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, was also handed two equally powerful dockets. More changes are expected at the Senate. Emmanuel Toh, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
All right, guys. So, of course, on matters government, you understand clearly what is happening, the rewarding and the demotion process. And you've heard Junet saying it clearly in Parliament, with fear of, they say with fear of what? With no fear of contradiction. So, of course, this now brings another movement of rewards, apart from the rewards that we've been seeing in processes whereby people like Wamuchomba actually came out to say that if people think she was bought with millions, they should know she was bought with billions because of the developments done in her area. And she qualified that the government is doing its bit, because now she has changed the tune. Guys, politicians are actually snipers, you know. Once we heard that from one of the leaders from Bungoma, and it's true. Okay, so now let's turn to see how the angry senators were actually digging into each other's in parliament. Let's look at this.
Who is the person who gave you this check? Then they say it is Sifuna. Then they say remember me in 2027. Mr. Speaker, you would think that that money is their money. And one of the things I don't understand, these members of the National Assembly make the dishing out of checks to appear like something that is so appointed. Like a clerical job, who cannot dish out, who cannot, if your office wrote checks, how difficult is it to distribute checks? It's a physical transaction. So they come and make noise here and tell us all about how children will not go to school. Honorable Speaker, and that check has 2,500 shillings on it. There are people here who are educating children and they don't even announce it. Honorable Speaker, they should come to our offices so that we tell them all those children that I have paid school fees for. Even if you see a single one of them with a picture of Sifuna, you should ask me. They go there and they say, this is the so-and-so who did it for me. But you don't see me presenting checks here in Nairobi saying, oh, Sifuna is issuing bursaries today. That is not your money. Can you show us photos of you issuing your own money so that you leave this public money aside, Honorable Speaker? Then, Honorable Speaker, the majority leader even wanted us to extend this thing to Plex. There was a young man who was going around this country called Morara, auditing national projects. The country is led by Plex, written, oh, this project was commissioned by William Ruto on this particular day, on this particular day. Those are the other plaques that we need to go for, because that is not Ruto's money. He should also remove his name on those plaques. Honorable Speaker, it is the truth. The majority leader told us we need to extend it to plaques. I can show you those plaques.
Senator Sifuna, there is a point of order again from Senator Chalgi.
Mr. Speaker, I rise again understanding 101 on contents of speech, Mr. Speaker. This obsession by Senator Sifuna or President William Ruto must stop. If he wants to discuss the president, he should bring a substantive motion. Then we can handle at that point. He should stop this obsession, Mr. Speaker. Please, protect, because the president is not to defend himself. Because when you are making such assertion against anyone, they have a right to be here to defend themselves. But since he's not here, he should just stop dragging. You know, majority leader can defend himself because he's here, Mr. Speaker. Can the honorable senator withdraw and apologize or substantiate, Mr. Speaker? Because when he says there are plaques that are littered with the name of President William Ruto in the country, that is not a statement of fact and standing under 105.
Senator Chalgi, just a minute ago you are requesting to be given the names of the governors. You have the plaques. Also, you mentioned the name of a certain governor.
Mr. Speaker, can I finish?
Speaker,
Can I finish? Mr. Speaker, can I finish?
Two loans
Can I finish?
Listen, Senator Chalgi, since two loans cannot make a right, also Senator Sifuna, there was a communication from the chair about that standing order to avoid mentioning names of state officers who are not in this house. Maybe unless you bring a substantive motion.
Honorable Speaker,
Can I finish?
Sit down, Bwana.
You are not the speaker. You are not the speaker. Mr. Speaker, why is Senator Sifuna ordering me? You are the speaker.
Resume the seat.
Resume your seat, Senator Sifuna. Let me finish what I was saying. I'm saying as much as possible, you know, those breaks, those billboards and everything, whatever it is, avoid mentioning names of whatever billboard you saw, so that now we can make progress, Senator Chalgi.
Honorable Speaker, can I proceed, please?
Yes, but
Honorable Speaker, we are not discussing personalities. We are discussing our money. The Senator for Narok, Honorable Speaker, came from a time when he was hosting the president in his county. So he came back and told us, oh, we have been given an airport in Narok. The contractors are there day and night. So one time I had been given a lift by a friend of mine who was from somewhere in Western. I said, I want to see this airstrip in Narok, that has a contractor day and night. So I asked the pilot to fly over that space. Honorable Speaker, there is a plaque sitting there. There are no contractors there. That young man called Morara has gone round the whole country, has shown us. Even when you go to the so-called stadium in Wote, if you go to Kamarin Stadium, you will find those plaques there. Honorable Speaker, we cannot have these gatekeepers of the executive in the legislature. You do your job, let him do his job. So, Honorable Speaker, when he was going, Honorable Speaker, can you protect me from this heckler?
Senator Chigre, you order, kindly.
No. Honorable Speaker, do you know?
Of order are not making sense now.
Honorable Speaker, there is.
Senator Chalagay, can you allow?
You know when you are used to using matatus, have you ever been at home? You can see.
No.
Honorable Speaker, protect me from this.
Senator Chalagay. Senator Chalagay, I'm giving you the first warning this afternoon. I'm giving you the first warning. No point of order.
Honorable Speaker, please.
Let Senator Sifuna be in silence.
Thank you.
To conclude his...
Honorable Speaker, so the point that I was making, Honorable Speaker, is that those plaques with names of either projects that have been started or concluded should bear the same sign that I told you about, the Road Maintenance Levy Fund. It should say, your taxes have built this stadium in Wote. Your taxes have built this stadium in Kamarin, which doesn't exist, by the way. Honorable Speaker, let me conclude by commenting on something he said. And I was very quiet when he spoke, so I hope he will be quiet too. Honorable Speaker, as a responsible government, you cannot tell us to wait for you to face you in 2027 and you are killing us today. Albert Ojuang is in the ground. He will not be able.
All right, guys. So you heard that, right? You heard that loud and clear. Okay. So I want us to also bring something else here. So Cherargei has been that defense, in places most people have defense individuals who always have to support them even in their absence. They have to defend them even in their absence because these people understand why they have to do so. Thank you so much, Taiwan and Esther Nyambura. Welcome to our channel. It's very late, so I really appreciate your presence here. Unless you're in America, then you are watching at a very straining hour, which I really appreciate because I just had to do it. Remember, Live Saga TV has not grown so much. We are struggling to have 500 subscribers at least. And I really appreciate those who are watching, those who are giving me support. And, then that's great because if you are here at this time watching this, it's so great. Yeah, so it's almost midnight. And I really thank you for having given time to this channel because actually the political sagas happening in this country are just too much. And when I look at how some individuals in parliament defend those who are absent just because they want to create a name, I find it very funny. And these things don't begin from there. They begin from early childhood when we are growing up. You may find that somebody is doing very wrong things, but there are individuals who have just to support them. They may be oppressing others under them, but there is somebody who will always say that they are always doing the right thing, okay? So looking at what was happening in Parliament, it's clear that it's shocking to see Cherargei actually standing up to defend, but everybody else, even citizens, understand what is happening in the country. I've always been complaining about that issue of leaders really standing out to celebrate CDF money and go to schools and even disrupt the system of teaching, force teachers to line up, students singing for them just to say that they have brought checks. Yet that is tax money coming from citizens themselves, those parents and what have you. So if this can actually be stopped, it will be the best thing ever. But anyway, it is what it is. So, of course, Gachagua is still going around with storms all over the place. We've seen in Kisii as Matiang, Arati, and Osoro have been, like Gachagua has been vowing to end Osoro and Arati and replace that with many other people he mentioned. Of course, if you watched, you saw. On the other end, we've seen Babu vowing to actually work against minions such as Wanga, and the rest of them who are awarded offices, because he says nothing was done correctly. And of course, Senator Onyonka, on the other hand, has been roaring against the president, saying that nothing is being done right and there is need to actually correct the ills in the country, saying that if they don't unite up to the end, they'll have messed the government, that is the country. And of course, Matiang came up angrily to say that he is not going to allow the goons to work against security. So I just want to bring that video here as we end our video. 5 minutes to end it.
Abamuraba mintu bala baber ba kwa no muswacho yo moto gende steke biriga lakini watara kwa ne kiran ko wa microphone I'll let them speak abantu ba mintu ba gusi ngoli gitoro bogambi ko sento ligoli abantu banga bunaba mbaba se ko uri ba ko gambere nzi ngati omuntu ra to gambere how you turn against your people ngati omuntu ra to gambere o sangeria bamuraga be chibigi byaba echibesa na ne meyo n'abana besukuru polytechnic ngabachiko sali musangerekana ono muntu isa ino bogambi onye kwangiru n'abantu egazi yako zinira abantu bakwangire genda oberese ino uzobere buona mukao uzobona abantu bamwe kutenanje nimbwata abantu baminto nimbwata Ezekiel machokuta utarakomo nimbwata chane tongera nimbwata bridge. Sasa nataka kumuita ndugu yetu Rafiki Kasongo aende asiende? Kasongo aende asiende? Wakapi nasema Kasongo aende, Kasongo aende, Kasongo aende. Basi, mimi nimefika hapa mwezi 4 iliyopita. Nilikuwa nimealikwa hapa na Dr. Fred Matiang'i. Nimefika sijafika. Sasa mimi nauliza, mtu kwenda kuona familia yake, kazini yake, anataka ruhusa ya mtu ya Kasongo? Ati Arati ameambiwa na Kasongo Rigiji asifike Kisii kuonana na cousins wake wasizungumuse mambo ya familia yao. Mimi nauliza, kuna mtu yuko na title deed ya Kisii? Hii Kisii ni ya Arati? Ni ya mama yake? Ni ya Kasongo? Yeye ni kiongozi wa jamii ya Wabukusi? Yeye anaongea kama nani? Sasa wewe Kasongo na Arati yako, Rigiji amefika hapa, utadu? Muuliza utadu? Rigiji amefika hajafika? Unajua Kasongo alikuwa ananibadilika majina ati mimi ni Mkabila. Mimi nikimsaidia yeye alikuwa Kamau.
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done.
Alikuwa Kamau. Alikuwa Njeru. Yeye ni Mkaleji. Yeye ni Kipchirchir. Si nilijua. Nikamsaidia. Saa hii nimeamua nimfukuze nitafute mwingine. Sasa ndio nimekuwa Mkabila. Aende asiende? Aende asiende? Wewe Kasongo, mimi nilikusaidia. Ulikuwa umefinywa na Uhuru Kenyatta unatoa makamasi. Si ndio? Ulikuwa nakuja kwa sasa. Yako hapo mmepata kiongozi wa kutafuta serikali na kuchunga maslahi yenu. Mmedhulumiwa siku mingi. Waziri mmepewa tu moja, PS moja. Mambo yenu imesimama, barabara hakuna kitu. Hamkuwa na kiongozi ako na nguvu ya kutetea nyinyi. Huyu kiongozi ndio afaulu. Lazima muunge mkono 100%. Na kuwe ndio msemaji pekee na kila mwingine iwe Matiang'i akitukanwa, sio Matiang'i anatukanwa, ni jamii nzima ya Abagusi. Si ndio? Vijana mbo. Huyu Matiang'i anatukanwa mkifanya nini? Mumekataa. Nyinyi vijana, mimi ni wakazi. Nikisikia Matiang'i ametukanwa tena, nitakunya na kiboko nichape nyinyi. Si ndio? Harambee.
tutembee na Fred Matiang'i
already kwenda Kakamega.
Brother-in-law for that matter. And in addition to that, Raymond sent goons to clobber them at Kisumu Airport. Not much, just listening to the submission of Babu Owino.
I don't want to reveal the name of the person for security purposes. All right. But this message reads, and I am with you, Babu, tumekuwa mobilized twende airport na watu wa Raymond, ndio usiingie. Tunapitia hardware kuchukua mapanga na taribo. Team ingine imeenda stage na buses ziko ready kwenda Kakamega. Kina Omosh was round hapo Kondele, wamepewa instructions, lazima wakutoe mbio ndio pesa yao itoke. That is one. That is one, yes. My brother. This is not hearsay. This is evidence. Okay? And hearsay evidence is also admissible before a court of law, by the way. Okay. Number two, let's see. This is one of the guys that good. Babu, please be careful. Raymond Omolo hired us to attack you and your supporters. He paid us 1K each. Don't come to Kisumu Airport. That was on Saturday. I will just take the money because I don't have what to eat today.
And who are this? Who's that texting you?
My brother, I can't name names for their security purposes.
Okay.
These are people who were hired, as they have clearly indicated here, that their interest was just to have the money.
Now in this video, I want us to look into some of the reasons why Raymond Omolo is actively doing some of the wicked things that he's engaged in today. And so with no further ado, let's get after it. Now the first reason why Raymond Omolo does what he does is because he's being used badly by Ruto. You see, Ruto wants to create a scenario where it is a Luo fighting a fellow Luo. He can't allow Murkomen to be the one abducting Babu Owino's brother-in-law or organizing goons in Kisumu Airport, because that will affect broad-based negatively. And I'll give you another example of this. There's a company I worked for, nastaki kuwataja, they are very wealthy. Hii kampuni, it was not owned by Kenyans. Ni watu wa dual citizenship, but they are Kenyan and they also wako na nationality ingine, hata rangi ya ngozi ni ingine. They were the head of every department, be it marketing, finance, nini. The only department ambayo iliachiwa wa Afrika ngozi nyeusi ni HR, human resource. Why was that the case? Hapo ndo Mwafrika anadhulumiwa. You wake up working in the Thika branch, jioni unapigiwa simu, unaambiwa now we are taking you to the Mlolongo branch. And you're like, but mimi ninaishi Thika, why can't you get... No, we are taking you there. That department ya watu ngozi nyeusi ndo ilikuwa inatumika kudhulumu watu ngozi nyeusi. They will fire you, they will transfer you, they will reprimand you, but wale wengine wa ile ngozi ingine, they never put themselves in a position where they would get in conflict with the blacks. You see how it works? Same thing with Ruto. Ameka Murkomen, Ameka Raymond Omolo.
Alright guys, Fabian Myoki asks, hi, are you watching Citizen News? Oh no, I am doing analysis, of course. You know, I do collect various news from different places and I have to pull receipts here as I talk about it. So currently news are not playing because it's almost 10 something, right? Yeah. So Ronnie Hassan is here. Are you the same person on edutainment? Of course I am the same person. If you have been watching me on edutainment for us, I am the same. But here, majorly this one is about sagas and political realities, while on the other end, it's more of social reactions and some political reactions, of course. So normally in social media, YouTube, you need to have a main YouTube channel and another one as a backup. So please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, do subscribe also, because we are making sure that you have a main channel and a backup channel just in case of anything, okay? So thank you so much, Ronnie. Thank you, Fabian Moki. Thank you, Esten, Ambura, Ty, Wayne, and anybody else who has been watching. I appreciate for the likes as well. So guys, what is happening in this country is so funny. It happens that in the political fights, it ends up getting very messy. And unfortunately, some politicians actually use our close people close to us to fight us, okay? So in this realm, you realize that Sifuna, for example, cannot be fought directly by Ruto himself, you know? And he may not use Murkomen. Even though we have heard Sifuna talking about Murkomen, but at the end of the day, the real person who has been sent to actually attack them, you realize that they were border guys from Kakamega, and unless they turned against what they were sent to do and burned their jackets and just loaded, or rather fueled their pikis and went away, it could have got messy. Now you remember, even the guy who was picked in the Malemba Stadium was, of course, Aluya from Western. All right. Now, this is what happens when somebody wants to get to you. They use some people very close to you. Even in the Bible itself, you realize that Jesus Christ was actually harmed by one of his 10 followers. So people don't use people away from you to attack you. If it's a place of work, of course, somebody who is close to you will be used by your enemy to finish you. Whether it's to demote or whatever happens, they'll use somebody very close to you, okay? Sometimes even in a family, they'll use somebody whom they know can easily reach you to finish you. There are situations we've seen even children are used by enemies to reach you and finish you. Or maybe just somebody close to you, get it? So this is what is happening currently in politics now. P.S. Raymond Omolo is one of the people who has been used now by the government currently to attack Babu Owino, because it is not easy for them to use Murkomen. It will be easily noticed, and therefore they are using now P.S. Raymond Omolo to actually attack Babu. The first thing why they are doing this, Raymond Omolo knows very well the people from Kondele and all those places, the slums in Kisumu, so they can easily use him to reach those people than when they use Murkomen to do so. Murkomen comes from a different zone, that is what's in Gishu, so he cannot have an ease to operate in Nyanza as Raymond Omolo would do. Now you look at another incident. Fabian Moki says, woo, I don't understand what he is asking. Ronnie Hassan says, we are together. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate. All right. So you realize that Amisi, Orengo, Osoti, Sifuna, and Babu may be easily attacked often, and they'll not be attacked by externals. At the same script, when you look at United Opposition, which combines the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka, the likes of Natembea, you see like Natembea has been attacked many times by Eugene, Papa Waroma, okay? Kalonzo Musyoka has been also attacked by even recently, the guy who lost a son, okay? And they have also used this guy, the one who took the proposal of impeaching Gachagua. They have used him also at some point. They have also gone to, when you go to a mountain end, they are using people like Alice Wahome. We've seen the part of Kiambu, even as they attack Wamatangi, they are using Wamuchomba. We are also seeing that Kiomburi is coming into the picture. We've also seen Kimani Chungwa and the likes. So there is no way someone will attack you using somebody who is very distant. They have to use somebody close to you. And those are the mathematics that actually we can see David Wafula sharing here clearly, that if Babu has to be attacked, Raymond Omolo will work the mathematics. If Sifuna has to be attacked, they'll use somebody in Western. Malala is so quiet. I don't know what is happening. But anyway, I hope he's just on holiday. But they'll use somebody very close to him. Maybe Atwoli, of course, we have seen him backing at some point, talking about the elders' wisdom. I wonder which kind of wisdom that is. And just to make it fun, today there was this orientation process in our institution, and the chairman of the school is used to actually, every time new students come, he speaks and talks about convincing parents. Yeah, all right. So as I'm saying, it's quite tough in politics currently, and a lot is going to happen, as we can see. We can actually see the things that are taking the ground are not very appetizing, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And many politicians are going for interviews, and when you listen to what they are saying, it's more of a selfish act, It's more of a selfish act that is happening. And that's why I tend to look at it and say, corruption is really a serious cancer that is taking a our nation. And people don't understand that corruption is not just bribery. We have so many forms of corruption, including fraud, including bribery, and many other ways in which we experience corruption. Even that aspect of deals, the aspect of shares that we are seeing our leaders talking about all the days. We are experiencing leaders who are now talking about shares, regional shares. And it's unfortunate that UDA is talking about that. That is the current government. ODM is talking about that, especially ODM Linda Ground. This one which consists of Junet, Wanga, and Mbadi, you know, and the former governor of Kakamega, among others. So there are people who are talking about shares. That's a form of corruption because it really talks about favorism. It supersedes that general care that we should receive from our leaders. We are also seeing that happening in the united opposition, because when Gachagua speaks, what is he saying? To some point, he's actually advocating for corruption without maybe knowing or knowingly, but he understands that many Kenyans don't know what corruption really means. So I don't know whether we really break from this cocoon of corruption. Will we ever walk away from it? Because as far as some people pretend that they are fighting against it, they are just indirectly building it or supporting it, because of isolating some regions, being discriminative, conducting favorism, enhancing selfish aspect of deals, manipulation. Corruption happens in so many ways. It's not just bribery, siphoning of funds, fraud, and all that. It comes in so many faces, and people don't understand it. Because even when you come to a situation whereby you are taking money to citizens to convince them that you are the best leader, that's a form of corruption, right? It is. The dog is barking out there so much. I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah. But our time is up again. We have to come to the end of this, but it is actually a moment that we have to be wise enough to understand the nature of politics and what we need to do as citizens. Otherwise, adios. Let's meet another time.